The org chart, as you know it, is becoming obsolete. I know this because I've spent years building and managing teams. And if you've done that as well, then we both know that there is a ceiling. By the end of this video, you're going to understand 3 structural barriers that are just demolishing the limits that human beings do put on business right now. And you're going to get my honest take on why I think this story doesn't end where most people think it will end. Research shows that the average manager can be in charge of about 3 to 8 people before communication starts to break down and things fall through the cracks. Scale beyond that and you just need more managers. But here's the problem. Building leaders, managers, takes time. The right person has to fit the culture, earn the team's trust, and deeply understand the systems that they're actually trying to scale. That's months, most of the time years. And you're dealing at the end of the day with human beings. So you've got ego, complexities, and variability that comes along with that. There was a recent article published through Sequoia Capital by Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey founded Twitter and has recently made a lot of news after firing over 4,000 employees from his company Block. The article lays out exactly what AI is doing to this problem I've just described, and I think it's worth digging into. If you're new here, my name is Marshall, and I help business owners, consultants, and people who are just plain curious get the most out of AI without having to learn technical skills. I've spent thousands of hours and over 10 years testing and implementing systems and building teams, and I share a lot of what I'm learning right here on this channel. Dorsey's core argument is that the traditional org chart hierarchy has hard structural limits to it, and AI is what finally breaks through those limits. And I think overall, he's right about that. The bottleneck in scaling a business doesn't always come from the product or the market itself. It comes from the management layer, the people that make what the product is because they run the business. They run the pieces of the business. And the people that you promote into leadership need time to earn credibility, to learn context, and to actually build systems that you can teach and you can enforce. Meanwhile, the business just keeps moving. Things keep changing. What AI makes possible right now is taking a significant portion of what used to live in that management layer and moving it into an always available intelligence layer. This is what we mean when we talk about how AI is the next operating layer of every single organization. Think about it. Your team could query and ask about processes and standard procedures directly instead of waiting for a callback or a text back. You can generate reports and feedback automatically with the right context. This is accountability that doesn't require a manager chasing status updates. And you can deploy humans to do what they do best, which is be on the edges, to find the people, places, things, and opportunities that don't exist in the AI, but exist in real life. That is a massive structural change in what it takes and costs to run and scale a business. The second barrier that AI is tearing down is one that lives in the culture of almost every organization I have ever worked with. This is compartmentalization, gatekeeping. Call it what you want. It's information that could unlock results for the whole team, but it stays stuck inside of one department or one manager or one person's head. And why does that happen? Fear, scarcity, ego, bad communication. These are human problems. And especially with the AI era impacting jobs in our economy, what's going through people's heads is this: if I'm the only one who knows how this works and how to do it, I'm indispensable. But that has a cost to it. Decisions can be made without full context of the situation. The same mistakes can get repeated because that lesson never traveled through to the right people. And your collective intelligence stays artificially capped. AI can remove that incentive problem almost entirely. When a system has access to your processes, your infrastructure, your outcomes, your communications, and your customer data, that can no longer be hoarded. It becomes infrastructure of that new operating layer. And this, by the way, connects very directly to something that any founder or business owner with an exit strategy needs to have in mind. Nobody wants to buy a business where the biggest advantages, the moat, lie with the founder or with very specific key individuals who leave once the business is sold. A large part of the value of what a business offers is in its systems. Before AI, removing key person dependency took years of organizational development. Now you can build systems that encode that knowledge and make it available to everybody who needs it. Now, as you can imagine, knowing this and actually doing something about it are very different things. If you or someone in your team don't have the time or energy to do this within your business, that's what we do at Infinite Growth. So check out the link in the description to schedule a call with us, and you can tell us a little bit about what you're hoping to achieve. The third idea in Dorsey's piece that I genuinely think is a smart idea is this: failure signals become the roadmap. It used to be that product teams and CMOs had to sit in a room and hypothesize about what to do next to figure out what the move is. Now, AI can just show you the next move. Of course, you have to feed it with the context of what you've done, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what competitors are doing. But once you do that, you have all the context necessary to build that strategy, and then you can focus your energy and time and resources on acting, on actually taking the steps to do the thing and executing on the plan, making decisions. Strategy has always been bottlenecked by the time and energy it takes to actually synthesize the information. You have to collect the data, you have to make sense of it, you have to decide, you have to debate. AI can compress that entire sequence. For anybody who has ever said, I just don't have time to think strategically, this is the answer to that problem. But here's where I want to add something that I just am not seeing being asked yet. Dorsey's vision requires fewer roles for people that AI is now handling. Now, I don't think that's wrong, but I do think that that transition is going to be real, and it is going to be felt in a lot of places that we don't even anticipate yet. New jobs will come because of AI. Some are already showing up, but things are going to get much, much harder before they get better. And here's the deeper question. If companies are optimizing with AI to deliver their services at a lower cost, but those same systems are disrupting and displacing the consumer class that these companies need to spend money on their services, are we running towards something sustainable? Or are we running a very sophisticated optimization on a system that is eroding its own foundation? Now, I'm not saying stop or slow down. I'm disagreeing with Dorsey a little bit here in thinking that the leaders who win in this next era are not going to be the ones who just implement the fastest. They're the ones asking what they're building toward. They're using AI to do that and making sure that you're still serving the people who are going to benefit from it. So really, here's where I'll land. The org chart is being redesigned in real time. The management ceiling is being raised. The gatekeeping problem within the same organization is being solved. And for the first time, failure is actually really, really valuable data and not just an expensive mistake. Dorsey is right in saying that AI is dismantling barriers that were always structural, they were never completely inevitable. What I'd just add is this: be intentional about what you're building and who it's actually for. And by the way, the people who make up your team or your business are also who it is for. If you're sitting on ideas for how AI could change your business, but you haven't had time to take action on it, or maybe you've handed that off to somebody on your team and haven't really seen anything come of it yet, that's exactly the conversation that we love to have at Infinite. If this was useful to you, subscribe and let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll see you at the next one.